Hello, Flosstube. Happy end of November, beginning of December. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. We had a lot of fun. I guess smaller than usual crowd. Hannah, my niece Hannah, was in Boston, and my Aunt Mary Lou went to visit one of my cousins, and so it was just my sister's family and our family. You know, there's like, I don't know, 7 of us or something. So it wasn't tiny, but it wasn't huge. And the food, excuse me, the food was great, and it was a lot of fun. It was just a nice, fun time with family. But today is November 30th, Saturday, November 30th. And as my sister was saying today, and one of my music friends used to say, Bassoon, it will be Christmas. So tomorrow, Sunday, will be December 1st, and we're off to the races. Jingle Ball is happening this coming weekend, this Friday, December 6th through Sunday, December 8th. Midnight on the West Coast. Midnight, I guess, everywhere you live, just, adjusted for time zones. But so, as a matter of fact, I have to double check and make sure see the time zone conversions to double check when my stitching classes are that I signed up for. But otherwise, generally it's Friday evening through Sunday night, right? Midnight at Sunday. Anyway, so I'm going to just kind of recap some of what I did in November and what I'm going to be doing in December. Hold on one second, please. All right. So I just wanted to recap real quickly what I did in December, and I forgot one more thing, sorry. Let's see if I've got it handy here. Sorry, make it a little. I paused at one point, but this time I'm just gonna force my way here, through here. Okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry. So for Thursday, I finished my WIPGO stuff more or less. So of course, one of the things I was working on was the July Rabbit, and November also. The November Rabbit, which I think I have right here. Hang on one second. I have all my rabbits in one bag. Yeah, so that's not November, this is November. So I had the November and July rabbits. So there's November, and there is July. And I was able to finish both of them earlier this month. So there's November. So let me get this starry thread out of the way. There's November. I showed this before. And there is July. And these are both done, as I said before, on 32 count Murano Carré. And, oops, sorry, that was the pattern. Using the called for Gloriana silks. So along those same lines then, for the, that'll be coming up in December, the last of those patterns. And then that was, those were part of my number 16 WIPGO number, and also was, this was one of my number 14s. I showed this last week also. So this was Wayfaring Stranger. And I was hoping that maybe I would have some time to do some more work on this the latter half of this month, but I ended up not having time to do that. And this is the design I did for my dad, when my dad passed away. So it has his dates down here, and then the excerpt from him, I'm a Poor Wayfaring Stranger. So, like I said, I finished the grassy patch where all the sheep go. These are the sheep holes. And I was working on the River Jordan there. And, yeah. And this was, I don't know what the count is. It's something like, I don't know, 46 count, whatever. It's like an embroidery fabric that they sold at Walmart. And it's very tiny. And so it's 1/1 with DMC on that. Anyway. So that was part of my November stitching, and the other November stitching I had was, I had a finish. This was one of the Starry Night patterns, what I call number 6, just because of the order that they're in the pattern. So this one here with the wise man on the camel, and I finished it. I finished it yesterday. I was hoping I could finish it a little more quickly than I did, because most of these are just very simple patterns, and they take, even the ones that seemed like they have a lot of stitching, usually only took me a few days. But for some reason, I don't know if this one was more dense or I just didn't take the time to work on it or whatever, but it took me a while to finish it. But I finished it last night. I kind of interrupted my other WIPGO thing because I wanted to finish it. So this is, I did something weird with hair there, but we're just covering on his head. But this is the Starry Night by the Prairie Schooler. So this is my finish. And this is all DMC threads. I think the pattern calls for like either this color of kind of a gold color or Krynic. And I used Etoile instead of Krynic, and I used some of the regular, flat DMC color. So for the camel's, his nostril and his reins, and for the guy's headdress, the wise man's headdress, I just used regular DMC. And I think also for the outline, the outline of this blanket that is on the camel. But for the stripes on the jar here, and for the star, and for the jar that the wise man is carrying, that's all in Etoile. And the stars here. It's all Etoile to give it a little bit of sparkle. And then there's some back stitching involved in that. So, of this pattern, the only one I have left, and this is one of my secondary numbers for December, is the wise men here. So I'm hoping to do that, to get that finished. Not quite as much back stitching as some of the others, their faces and their hands, and then the outline around there is back stitched, and maybe some of the star stuff. But for the most part, it's just a lot of dense stitching. But that's the only one I have left to go out of this series. And I am going to squeeze that into this piece of fabric. So I won't be able to finish it for Christmas this year because all my finishing stuff is put away. But for next year, I'll have that to finish. So my other November calls, main call was the Bald Eagle. This is the Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods series, and this is number 7, I think. Yeah, 7. So this was actually a new start for me for this year. It was supposed to be like a secondary chart, but I had to move it up because of the Sleepy Hollow debacle that I had. So this was what I think last week I had this wing done and all or most of the head of the eagle. So I added the branch that he's sitting on. There's a few stitches of leaves, like at the end of the branch here, and then down here where this brown rusty color is, there's some leaves here that I have not put in yet. I did one of the trees, and I did do the cabin, the little cabin underneath there. That's finished. The cabin is finished. So there's another tree on either side. There's one here, and there's two more. Like I'm looking at it backwards, sorry. Yeah, one on this side and two more on that side. And then the big tree that runs the whole length of the design. So right now I'm working on the tail, and I've done his little talons, and this is part of his body on this side. And I'm just sort of like all over the place in a way, but one of the reasons that I finished this branch and did the tree, and then so I could do the cabin. And I started to go up here, but I got to the end of this length of thread I had, and it gets a little more complicated because of this little pattern that's in there. So this is hazelnut, weak starch hazelnut, and this one is molasses. This down here is black. But so this hazelnut color goes in under here, and then there's some, or maybe it's here, I don't know. But there's some other, the other colors that go on his wing here. So it's a little more complicated in terms of getting around those openings, leaving those holes for the other colors. But I want to do this part of the eagle too, because that's basically is a big chunk of just solid stitching here. But right now I'm working on the tail. There's a lot of white, and then eventually there'll be some of the gray in there. But today is the last day I have both the last month of the month, the last day of the month, and the last of the 7 days of stitching on this. So I'm hoping maybe I could do a little bit more, maybe finish the tail, and maybe do a little more stitching on the body. I won't get to do the other wing, this time. But if I can get, some significant progress on that, that'll help. Like I said, this is all done. The eagle's head and neck is all done. I put the eyes and the eye and the nostril in, and all of that. So that's done. So yeah, and it went surprisingly quickly, for just 7 days. And it really, like, I worked on it last night for part of the night after I finished the Prairie Schooler thing. I worked on it a little bit last night, so technically that was 7 days. But I wanted to do a big chunk of it today. So anyway, so that is the bald eagle. So that is my November stitching. Starry Night, Wayfaring Stranger, bald eagle, and the rabbits for July and November. So December then is my last two WIPGO calls, number 7 and number 20. So for number 7, I'm doing the last of the rabbits. So if I finish this, and I hope to, I'll be all done with the rabbits for this year. And then I just have to FFO them, which is a long and complicated process, and I won't be able to start it until we move. So this is the December rabbit. And I've done the chocolate bunnies around the brown bunnies, and I had to do just all the greenery. And I've only done one of these corner holly leaf and berry things. I've only done one of them. So this is probably the least far I've gotten on any of them. This one was I did the least on. It kind of goes like this, I guess. But so, yeah, so I have all this kind of greenery all the way around, and then there's some green thing in the middle here. So let's see. And this is, I hadn't been talking about, but I've talked about before, that this is a big wad. Here it is. This is 28 count Irish linen, tea-dyed. The color says tea-dyed. And you know this, it's DMC Charles Craft brand, and on the label it says tea-dyed Irish linen, even weave Lugana. So all of the above, but it's basically a linen. Yeah, it's a little bit looser than the Lugana I'm used to using, but it holds up nicely. And the rabbits are done on 32 count Murano Carré with Gloriana silk. I think I said that before, but yeah. So like I said, hopefully I will be able to finish the December one, and then I'll be done with the rabbits. And then, and the last of the Prairie Schooler patterns, and that series will be done, which will be a great way to finish the year, to finish those. But then my other main WIPGO pull for number 20 is the Raccoon. And this was, again, from the Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods series. And this is number 4. Excuse me. And this one is, I had the most pitiful start on. The Bald Eagle and the Barn Owl were new starts completely. So what I was able to do with those, you know, is great. I had 7 days work on each one of those. So those were new starts. So the Raccoon is almost a new start, because all I had stitched was this little flower and this little flower up here. Just that. I think I started it like for Mania or something a couple of years ago. Not this past May, but a year ago. So that's all I did was the little flowers. So, but you know, this month I'll have 7 days to work on this, and so I'm hoping that I can, you know, like finish this greenery, this flower, and the greenery around it, and then actually do, you know, a chunk of the actual Raccoon, and maybe even get down here and do the cabin, because besides the woodpecker, which is the only other one, you know, that I didn't spend 7 days on. I think the woodpecker, let me see what I've got. Yeah, it was secondary new start when it was called back in April. And so that was all I did on that one. And so I didn't get, you know, further into the design to get down and do the little cabin. And the other one I had as a new start was the Raccoon. And like I said, all I got were those 2 little tiny flowers. So I'm hoping, you know, that I can get down far enough to do the cabin, but I might not, because it's in such a weird place. So we'll see how that goes. But and this is on this fabric that I'm doing them all on. It's I want to say 28 count. It's either 28 or 32. Linen that I dyed myself. So they're all in the same color type of linen. And I made up this little border to separate them all. It's just a simple border thing. So that's that. So I'm hoping that with 7 days on that one, that I can, you know, get a good start on it. And then my other main call, number 7, is Deep Waters, and this is by Sweet Wing Studios. Susan O'Brien is the designer for this. So it says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. There's a piece of the verse of Isaiah 43:2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you, is the whole verse. So this is the beginning of it. And this one is one, I think I've talked about this before, that I have a kit with this same verse, but it's like a seashore kind of scene. It's like, I think there's a lighthouse and a beach and like that. So this is more whimsical. There's an octopus and a crab and a whale and some fish. Yeah. So I have, I'm doing this on 28 count Lugana that I dyed myself. And I've got just the words, and this is the bottom of the whale under there, part of the words. Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm hoping to get, a good chunk of this done as well. And then the other thing is the Jingle Ball, of course, which starts this coming Friday, and goes over the weekend, through the weekend, like to midnight, Sunday night. And there are still tickets available, general admission tickets available, and I think the PDF version of the classes is still available. I don't think there's a limit to that. Hold on one second. Sorry, move this. I don't think there's a limit to that size if you get the PDF version of the class, the finishing classes, because or any of the classes, whatever the classes are. Some of them are actual, finishing it as a stitching design, and how to finish it or whatever. I guess they all are that to some degree. I know there's one that is talking about doing specialty stitches. So I don't know if there's an actual, I guess there is like a design, that you would finish for that. But anyway, so all or most of these classes have a PDF version that you can kit up yourself. So you just print the PDF, and it's got the chart and everything else, and you just can kit it yourself. There were some kitted versions of some of the class items, but I don't know if any of those, because obviously you wouldn't have time to get them now, because the Jingle Ball is just around the corner. Anyway, but it'll be great fun. And so to that end, I had them right here in my hand. Oh, here they are. So of course, the projects that I'm working on now, you don't have to take a class. You can just go and stitch, and it's a virtual retreat. You can stitch from the comfort of your own home in your pajamas or whatever, and be as visible or invisible as you like. And like I said, you don't have to take a class if you don't want to. There will be shopping available. There's free patterns available, and all kinds of things like that. So if you're on the fence about whether or not to go ahead and go. And if you can't go to the whole weekend, it's not a big deal, because you're only paying $10 to go. If you're not taking any classes, you're just going to general admission, it's $10. So you can come and go as you need to for the weekend, and it's going to be great. But so the classes that I signed up for are the Blue Flowers Festive Forest, and it's finishing I didn't put the print out the whole design. I have it here somewhere. I'm sort of discombobulated today. But so it's kind of like I talked about it before. It's kind of like a biscornu in a way that that because of the way you kind of put it together. But so this is what it'll look like eventually, and this is what it looks like, you know, stitching. You stitch these little peaks, and the peaks, you know, come together to make a tree, right? And makes that round shape. So that's one of the classes that I'm taking, and I haven't stitched any more on the stitching, but I have a few days before the thing starts. So this is just the beginning of Festive Forest. And this is a combination of DMC and some fancy flosses. There's a few Weeks Dye Works colors, a few Cottage Garden sampling, Cottage Garden threads, excuse me, and the rest are Roxy Floss. Now I ordered the Roxy Floss, I got those in, and I got one of the Cottage Garden threads colors. I've got all the Weeks colors, and you know, so yeah, this is a bigger picture of the actual design. So, and I started in this corner here. So I haven't got any of the animals in. I just got the beginnings of the flowers and all that. So, but anyway, so yeah, somebody had already finished there. They stitched it in DMC threads, and then already finished it. This is the other class I'm taking. This is the Up of the Rooftop Stockings, and these are little bitty stockings like this. They're ornament size, and this is the one I finished here. This is by Lindy Stitches, and it's all DMC threads. And so I did one of them, and I figured it's enough to do the classes, you know, the finishing classes with. And again, I'm going to have to just take notes because I don't have any of the finishing stuff. All my finishing stuff is put away, sort of in storage. So I've got the stitching for that one for class. I'm excited about doing it. And you know, I guess the first year that they did the Jingle Ball, I remember talking about the best way to access it is if you have a laptop or, you know, a computer of that size, rather than trying to do it on a tablet or on your phone. And these Flosstube videos I recorded on my tablet. I have a Samsung tablet, and I didn't have any trouble with it so much in the Jingle Ball. I think when the first year it was different, and the second year it was an Excel Events was the website that hosted it. It's like a Zoom class, but it's not Zoom. It's Excel Events, and anyway, so I don't know that there was the same kind of problem. Like I said, I was able to use my tablet, but I had been wanting a laptop. I have a desktop that I bought several years ago, in 2010, I guess. Golly, that's a long time ago. And when we moved out here, I think I had it upgraded, like, you know, Best Buy, Geek Squad, whatever, they had updated it. So like it has I have a webcam for it, but the webcam either has to be upgraded or I have to get a new one or something. It doesn't work since I upgraded it, because I don't think I have the proper drivers or whatever, technical stuff. But also my computer, my desktop is out in the living room of the house, and so I wouldn't really be able to do something as what I would consider private as a Jingle Ball. And it's also in the living room, it's kind of dark in there, and I'm so used to stitching with very bright light in my room. So anyway, to that end, I bought a laptop. You know, Amazon was having all of its Black Friday deals already, and it was inexpensive. I just bought like an inexpensive version. I didn't want to buy, they had some that were cheap that were renewed, refurbished. And I thought, yeah, I don't want that. I want a brand new one. Thank you very much. I don't want somebody else's piojos, as we used to say, somebody else's problems or whatever other problems, even though refurbished ones are fine, I'm sure. But I wanted a brand new one. So I got this HP, and I'm still kind of learning my way around it. I'm a little bit of a Luddite, so I don't really, I'm not really into high-tech stuff so much. And I have never really personally had a laptop. It was hard enough for me to learn how to use a tablet back in the day. And actually, the first tablet I had, my younger sister is like I said, she's I think I said this before, she's kind of an early adopter. As soon as some high-tech thing comes out, she's on it. She knows about it. She's about 7 years younger than me, and then she has kids, teenagers. So she's just sort of on that edge. And my brother-in-law, her husband, is more of a tech head kind of person too. So they've always had, the latest, gadget things like that. So when the iPads first came out, they had one right away. And I remember being very jealous of their iPad, but I thought, I don't really need one at that time because I had a computer at home, and I don't think I even had a smartphone. I had a cell phone, but not a smartphone. But anyway, so I wanted the iPad. It was kind of fun, but I really didn't need one, and especially for hundreds of dollars that they cost. But at one point, the newspaper, I had a subscription to the Sunday-only newspaper in Little Rock. And they had, I guess to try to encourage subscribers or whatever, they had a drawing, I guess. Excuse me. Where if you were a subscriber, you could enter this drawing to win an iPad. And it wasn't a super fancy iPad. I guess it was the cheaper one that Apple offered at the time. But I guess it was around the time that the new glass that they had had come out, and so or was about to come out or something. So they had this. This was in 2009 because it was when I had been laid off from my job, and so I was at home for a while, trying to find a job, whatever. And I got this email that said, enter this, for a drawing to win this iPad. And so I thought, what the heck, I'll enter it. I never win anything. I'm just going to enter it. And then, like, at some point, no, I think I was already working at Blue Cross at the time. So this was probably, it was like 2012 or something like that. It was when the iPad, the glass came out, the new glass. It was probably 2012. Yeah, something like that. But I was working at Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I had pneumonia. I got sick one weekend, and I finally went to the doctor, I guess on Tuesday or something, and they said, oh yeah, you have pneumonia. Stay home, ended up staying home for the rest of the week. And, but I guess that Wednesday, I got an email that from the newspaper that said, you won the iPad. And I'm like, is this real? And I was like checking it out to make sure it wasn't a scam or something, but it was, there's some guy from the newspaper. And so I was able to, to communicate with him. And he said, well, you can get an iPad now, or you could wait a week or so, and the new one, the new glass, the new version's coming out. So if you want to wait, we can get you the new one. And it was still, the cheap. There was the smaller one and the one with a bigger memory or whatever. And this was, of course, for the smaller one, the less memory or whatever. but hey, you know, it was free. and so, and like, I didn't even have Wi-Fi. I had to go and like get a modem and all this stuff, you know, and yeah, so I was like in anticipation, I was like, oh. So I got the little magnetic cover that they have for iPads, and I got the modem and all this kind of stuff, and so it was fun, you know. But I still have the iPad, but they, you know, it's so old that I guess they like Apple doesn't support it anymore or something like that. So it's kind of like a brick, but anyway, not too long ago, I bought this tablet. I guess maybe after I moved out here, or just before I moved out here. I don't remember. But so now I have a laptop. So if I can figure out how to make it work, and if it works well, I may end up doing my my updates on the tablet. If I can, you know, once I figure out how to do everything that I need to do on there. So I don't know if it's going to look any different. I may get into like editing my videos or not. I don't know. Or not. If I'm just lazy, I'll just do them the way I've been doing them and just say, here, this is what it is. But anyway, so I'm going to have fun working with the laptop. I'm hoping that I can, you know, learn how to use it and all that in time for the Jingle Ball, because that's what I bought it for, basically. But so, yeah. So that's my plans for this coming week. I think I'm going to try tomorrow to start on the December Rabbit, because it's the first of the month. And then I will probably work some more on Festive Forest for the Jingle Ball, just for fun, just so that I have more done when that class comes up. Yeah, we'll go from there. So hopefully everything will go as planned. I think that's all I have for this coming month. Yeah, that's it. And what's really sad is because we're in this sort of, you know, house selling limbo, and all of our stuff is put away, we'll probably not get to put up a tree this year, and not, you know, like do any decorations outside. And right now, actually, our house is kind of dark looking because our outside lights don't work. I don't know if the bulbs are burned out or whatever the case is, but yeah, you know, the outside lights don't work on the front anyway. So, and it seems very simple enough, but it's something that I think my nephew has to do, you know, because it's up high and all that. And I think it's something that he has to do. And of course, he's very busy with work and stuff. And so I don't know when, you know, if and when he can get around to doing that. So yeah, so right now our house is kind of gloomy looking and, you know, not very festive. Our neighbors across the street have put up their Christmas lights. That's kind of fun. They're kind of cute. And there's a house on one corner as you come in and out of the neighborhood that's very, they always decorate, super duper decorate for their little tiny, they have a little tiny front yard. But they do it all up for Thanksgiving, for Halloween. They had all kinds of, you know, spooky things on there. And I don't think they specifically did anything for Thanksgiving. They may have put some like fall kind of things out there. But they already have their December stuff up. So they have like one of those little deer statue things and, you know, all kinds of lights and stuff like that. So it's always kind of fun to see what they're gonna do in their yard for Christmas. But hopefully, maybe we can put out, I don't know, a string of lights or something to you know, gussy up the place a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so I am looking forward to the Jingle Ball, and again, I'll put the website jingleball.net down in the description box, and you can click on that and explore all the different things. And Lindy Stitches, who's hosting the Jingle Ball, Stephanie Webb's been putting out all kinds of videos about how to navigate around and find your way around the website, the little the menus and stuff like that, and the different stitching tables, the stitching rooms, you know, that are like, some of them are regional, some of them are like the international table for those people that are, because the Jingle Ball retreat is, because it's virtual, it's open to everybody all around the world. So if you're in, you know, Australia or France or something like that, and you want to participate, you know, you might, because of the time zone differences, you might be on the website in the middle of the night. And so if you're a night owl here in the States, and you know, you may be able to just hook up with some people on at the international table. So, you know, so there's something for everybody, a place to meet other stitchers and stuff like that. Or like Stephanie was saying, you know, if you don't want to be seen or heard, you can, you know, keep your mic or your camera off or whatever, and just lurk, you know, and you can still see into these other groups, the stitching tables, the stitching rooms, and not be seen, you know, as it suits you. And you know, you can participate in all that. Or there's speed dating. There's some little fun videos that the designers have all contributed to that are just like entertainment. You can, if you're bored or whatever, you can click on those and watch a video or something silly. But you know, so it's a lot of fun, and it's you know, and it's inexpensive. It's really nice to do. So anyway, so I will go, and I will see you all next time, and hopefully I can. Well, I don't know. Because next Saturday, when I normally do my updates, the Jingle Ball will be going on, and I don't know if I will do it on Saturday or if I will wait till Monday to do my update. I don't know. So don't be alarmed if I don't do my update on Saturday, because I may be in the throes of the Jingle Ball. As a matter of fact, my sisters and I were talking about next weekend, because our video update that we do, the Three Sisters Creative, we normally film that on Saturday and release it Sunday morning. But Naomi has, I think she's working a concert Friday night, which is our other alternative time that we will sometimes, if something's going on Saturday, we'll film on Friday night if we can. But she has to work Friday night, and then all day Saturday and Sunday is the Jingle Ball, and so we don't know when we're gonna film on that. We're still going to be discussing that the next few days about when to do that. So anyway, so the Jingle Ball kind of, you know, messes up our little stitching timeline. But even if we somehow, if that update or this update end up skipping Saturday, we'll do it the next weekend, or or maybe even the next day. Like Monday, I might do my update on Monday and then talk about the Jingle Ball or whatever I've done this past week, the first week of December. We'll see. I'm sort of playing that by ear. So you might see an update on Saturday, or you might not. So just be aware. I'm sure you'll miss me deeply, but if I'm not here, your Saturday won't be the same without me. Seriously though, I don't, like I said, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing next weekend. So, watch this space, as they say. So I think that's it. And like I said, I may see you next week. I may not, just because of the Jingle Ball. But you'll see me soon after that. So, okay. So until then, I hope you'll join me at the Jingle Ball. I wouldn't mind, meeting up with some of you there. That'd be great. We can run into each other or whatever. So yeah, I will see you when I see you next time. All right. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.